I can see that it's night and day. He told me the truth. Walking from here to my bedroom and feel like it's miles away. There's too many roads. And I'm still hard body, I don't feel nobody. And I'm will some riding on my friendships solid. I get big deposits on my whips exotic. Revving the engine, well, city dependent. I gotta finish it, I want opinions, she wanted things, yeah. She want a ring or some sort of arrangement, yeah. Something that's dangerous. I wanna change it, I wanna claim it, yeah. I want it painted, yeah. She quick to say no cause she know she a diamond, yeah. She getting quiet, yeah. She on the diet, she want a massage, yeah. I'm tryna get intimate, yeah. Bank account never diminishing, yeah. Niggas are changing their images, yeah. Niggas act hard but they innocent, yeah. Hop in the tank and move militant, yeah, 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 yeah. Find me somewhere out in London, you know that's the hideaway. I need some head and some moral support from you right away. Since I've been making donations to you like United Way, you know I do. Stories you told me about him, I can see that it's night and day. You told me the truth. Walking from here to my bedroom and feel like it's miles away. There's too many rooms. And I'm still hard body, I don't feel nobody. And I'm will some riding on my friendships solid. I get big deposits on my whips exotic. Trunk on the engine, I'm on a mission. The Bronco 250, I'm out your division. I got him excited. Know it's been a little minute, I left her delighted. Made her love off a chrome, these sucker despite it. The touch is the Midas. She say, fuck me and calm, I just do it like Lover, but Nike. Ordered a jet for you and your friends. Trophy you running that big body Benz. Got a little bit that came up from nothing. We shopping in London and doing it big. Man, they private, but we out in public. I know we the topic for you and your kids. Ice Monopoly gon' broke, not an option. If they could've stopped it, they would've been dead. They would've been dead. She could be the wig. Don't play with my hands, you test my emotions. Don't be testing my phone every day, I'ma leave it on red. Don't digging and stroking. My new bitch pussy wet like an ocean, I need a new spread. The solid one chosen. I'm gon' wanna stay focused, I can't let them put me on edge. Put me on edge. I just bust out my wrist and this rose gold and it's an edge. I just put pointers on feds. I just counted to me and all cash and got hit from the feds. Yeah, I just told them if he played, then we stop in the growth of they dreads. I just had to put the pyramid, push that I'm never gonna drive them to shed. Build a panoramic goals. We got foes and deuces toast on the big dog.
Today, we're going to talk about the national championship, early NBA and college basketball plays, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Cooper Kupp might be washed. 4 targets, no catches. The guy ran a half a marathon. I've seen 20 tweets about it this morning. The guy didn't do a single thing.
Yeah, that was a frustrating bagel for a lot of fantasy owners.
Is this what we've become down in Blacksburg? Just complacent, happy to be going about our day and being a moose shit program, celebrating a kid getting 1 point against North Carolina A&T? He better fucking score a point. You're playing North Carolina A&T. He's leading college football, Jovan, in every single statistical category for a wide receiver. Every single one. And you don't give that guy the award? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. At the end of the day, you got to reward teams for winning fucking games. And if they're in a power conference, they're in a power conference. I'm tired of this big dick swinging contest between the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and ACC. At the end of the day, you got to fucking reward winning. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Monday, episode 620 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by SeatGeek. If you're thinking about going to any games this weekend, maybe you're going to some NBA games as well, or shit, college basketball too, get your tickets on SeatGeek. Use promo code Bookit10 and get a discount on all your future purchases coming up in the app. You plug that little code in. Next thing you know, you get 10% off all your future purchases on SeatGeek. All right, go check it out. W Subby's coming in today. Love to see it. We got YGF Taylor coming in, resubbing already, 33 months. We got Big Bubs coming in, resubbing for 18 months. Love to see it, gents. That's how you start out the week. Jovan, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm doing fantastic today. Probably not as good as you, Krabs, because tell you what, if you're using that SeatGeek code, the one thing you are not doing is going to see the Lions at the NFC Championship. Shout out the Commies.
No. But I thought they were free. Best team by far in the NFC.
Yeah.
No
John
chance
Trent.
the Commies win that game, right? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, as we saw over the weekend, this is why they play the damn games, folks. Okay? if they didn't need to play him, they wouldn't risk injury. They would just move on and you simulate through the games. Next thing you know, you're not even playing the games, right? You just move on. No chance. The Commies pull off the upset on the road in Detroit against the big and bad Lions. Have you guys not been seeing the same thing I've been seeing the last couple months? I don't get it. The Lions are banged up. They're trending downwards. The Commanders look like they have the best quarterback in the NFL right now. They do. And that gives you a huge edge. I'm stoked, Jovan. I mean, I don't know what I did to deserve this. It's been a long time coming. There's probably not a fan base in sports that deserves this more, to be completely frank with you, being involved in the Final Four. It's been a long time coming, and it feels great. I think if I could pick one of my teams to do something, get involved in a championship or whatever, it would be the Commanders, obviously. And I don't think we're done yet. Look, we just beat the Eagles team only a couple weeks ago, and I know they're looking great. They're destroying teams. They look like, by far the best team in the NFL. They're favorites to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if it's going to be a cakewalk for the Eagles. I think we give them a run for their money, and that game might be a little bit closer than people expect, or that spread's expecting. We got Dilgod coming in, resubbing. W. Dilgods. Appreciate you, Beast. Jovan, as you're not a Commanders fan. You're not biased. I want to hear your thoughts about my Commies going into Detroit and just whooping ass, taking care of business, and just putting up a 45 burger on them like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Commies fan, but I root for them because they're one of those teams like when they're good or doing anything good, it's not really a team that anybody, unless you're interdivision, can root against because they've been in piss for so long. I guess the Lions also apply to that, but yeah, I figured something was coming, not just because I've used my eyes and watched Jaden Daniels, but because BookitwithTrent had that futures lay, which has still yet to win a playoff game after all the CLV banging, just like the Astros Tigers went. So I figured there was something going on in that game, and lo and behold, they found a way to do it, which was awesome. I do think the one asterisk, I guess, though, with the Commies, I think they played by far the two worst defenses in the playoffs. And I don't think it's even close. So that's my one worry, why I kind of felt a little more confident leading into the Eagles. But now that we're here, I mean, I still think it's going to be a great game.
Yep. All right. I mean, Jovan, I'm just happy to be here with the Commies at this point. I know we have a lot of work to do this weekend, but I didn't hear no bell. And it could just be team of destiny type. We've never seen a rookie QB even start a Super Bowl game, let alone win a Super Bowl. Let's get there first and take care of business this weekend. But it's going to be must-see TV, man. And I think that's going to be one hell of a game.
Bets aside, because obviously I have Eagles investments, so I'm rooting for that. But my real football fan rooting interest will be decided by the first game, because if it's, or I guess the second game, really, because I think Chiefs Bills is the nighttime game. But yeah, if it's the Chiefs, it ends up being the Chiefs. The last thing I want to see, even though they might be a team of destiny, is the Commanders and a rookie quarterback in that spot. I would hate that. I feel like that would be fun for absolutely nobody. Because without
the Commanders and Chiefs, you can't make it up.
Because I mean, we know how that would play out. Respectfully, I mean, Pat versus a rookie quarterback for a 3-peat
makes so much sense that maybe that's what we need to break the curse here.
I know.
Change the narrative. Right?
I know. I just feel like it. I mean, Commanders, Bills. Again, bets aside, would be the most ideal Super Bowl maybe of all time. But if it's the Chiefs in there, I want the Eagles, not just for bet purposes, but I feel like they're the team that has a shot to beat them.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas giving all these teams a chance. I think the Commies are down to plus 260 right now, and they got the longest odds, which makes me feel pretty confident. I mean, all four of these teams are fucking loaded. It's going to be an absolute movie this weekend, cinema, if you will. And Nerfy Chad makes a good point in the chats. Always a butt with the Commies. No one giving them their flowers, Krabs. What's up with that? Yeah, the majority of the time, most people, their takes on the Commanders are, oh, no chance they win that game. And then they win that game. And then people say, well, there was this going on, or there's that, or, this guy's hurt, or you didn't have, their defense didn't have their fastball or whatever it is. Sure, that's the case. But I guess they got to earn it, Nerfy Chads. I mean, they've been the worst franchise in sports probably for the last 20 years. So maybe people are just hesitant to pass over the flowers. I feel like at this point, though, you just got to pass them over. I mean, you got guys like Mikey Sandscrill, like Rav's talking about in chat. That dude might be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL right now as a rookie, undersized rookie. There's so many guys. It's not just JG5. It gives me 2019 Nats vibes. It really does. Team of Destiny. We'll see how far they can go. All right. Who would have thought we're here? But we are. All right. And don't worry, guys. We're going to talk plenty about the games tonight and the Natty tonight. We're going to talk about Goots' Irish and Jovan's Irish. But before we do, let's go over some recaps, Jovan, from Friday and from the weekend and last week. Gootsy, you want to go ahead and get to the Squad Rad recap? Take a peep at that puppy. How about the Lobos?
That was
getting the job done.
Wager of the Year nomination from you, Krabs.
Yeah, great play. They got it done. They got it done, chat. New Mexico, the Lobos, do not fade them at the pit. Good things happen at the pit for the Lobos. Okay. What else we got? The Sharp Report recap. Take a peep at that puppy. Yeah, looks like Jovan, you bounced back on a Friday. I think we all saw that coming. -1,000. Great work. Great plays. Everything besides Villanova, and that was a bullshit game.
Yeah.
I flipped that motherfucker, and I went 1-5. But
it's all right. You carried a good part of the week. You earned one.
Yeah. Only one that mattered. Hilarious. Great call, chat. Sniffing out a winner for the Squad Rad poll there. Had a couple other plays involved, and they were all quail shit. Okay, so good job sniffing out New Mexico. Great work. Great work. What else we got, Gootsy? We got a meat sheet on Saturday. We can recap and take a peep at. Straight bets, about 50-50. Prize pick squares, maybe a hair above 50-50. Nothing to write home to Mima and Peepaw about, but also nothing to bitch about or moan about, right?
Yeah, just about. I'm trying to do the math in my head. It's just above 5. Just above 5. We're good.
All right. We take it. Not our best work, but not a terrible meat sheet. Okay?
Sure.
And then we got one other thing to recap here, Jovan, and this one's still active and up and moving. The Hail Mary. Can we finally cash a goddamn Hail Mary this year? Please.
Would be good.
Let's get let the good guys get one tonight. All right, let's put one in the win column. Let's cash a Hail Mary tonight. We need one more play. We need the under in Ohio State and Notre Dame, and surely that goes well. Okay?
Surely.
Yep. We got Sonny Dutchy in the chat. W Krabs, man. Jaden is 2019 Soto. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting to, man. I'm with you. But yeah, chat, the under. We're going to be sweating that puppy out tonight. It's probably my favorite play on the card tonight as well. We'll talk about it here in a moment. Maybe we don't need it to double up and put it in the Squad Rad poll, but we got some time before we get to that. Okay? And Trent said he might have to tail the under. I bet.
GG.
I bet. Can we get a Gootsy pulse check? Tough weekend for our guy Gootsy. Now, he does have a chance to bounce back tonight. Would love to get a Goosey pulse check.
I would love to
see how he's doing on Monday morning.
Would love it.
Gootsy. Go Irish. You heard it here first, folks. Big night tonight for Goots. Big night tonight for the Irish. Let's see if he can bounce back. Okay? Hey, that spread's been slowly but surely just narrowing down a little bit as the week's going on. We'll see what happens.
I mean, Goots might have always been getting one, but it wasn't Lamouche yet. He always could have been Riley Leonard.
Yep. Brutal. Plus signs pay. Yeah, they do. Good point. All right. Well, Jovan, why don't we go ahead and hop right into the winners for today? We'll get to it because I do want to spend some time potentially crafting up a college football lineup for the Natty tonight and making sure we take a peep at the NBA and college basketball slates because we got games starting up this afternoon, right? We got an NBA game going on actually right now as we speak. You got any action on that game right now? Any Dallas or Charlotte plays?
I got none. I try to limit my action on MLK Day, of course. Got to have action in Memphis games and Atlanta games. It's kind of the rule. So they're about to get up. I think Memphis is pretty soon, and the Hawks soon after that, but nothing in this game.
Yeah, 2:30 p.m. on TNT Eastern. Okay. Yeah, we got some time. No other games starting up during BTL, but a lot of games starting up right after BTL, 2 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Gummy one, I'm going to hit you up after this. W reminder. I appreciate you, Beast. I'll hit you up after BTL today. Okay? Jovan, let's hop into the winners. for today, and then we'll circle back and see if we can craft up some sort of lineup, some sort of winning entry for the Natty Champ. But first, let's get into the winners for today and talk about the ice. You probably didn't think we were going to the ice first today, but we are. We are a contrarian show here, folks. I'm taking the Sabres on the road, barely plus chicken. Get them while you still can. They might not be plus chicken by tonight. On the road against Seattle, the big and bad Kraken, who've won 3 of their last 5 games. They're not, playing out of their minds right now, but they're not playing terribly. They've also covered 4 of their last 5 games. The Sabres, on the other hand, they're playing pretty much 500 hockey right now for the last couple of weeks. They're catching some steam, though, in this game. About 15 cents. Thought that was kind of weird, seeing a 17, 23-6 Buffalo Sabres squad catching 15 cents of steam against the Seattle Kraken at home in this one. So I'll go ahead and back the Sabres to keep slowly trending upwards in this one and getting a win on the ML plus chicken.
Yeah, it's ballsy betting on the Sabres, but they have been playing a lot better hockey. Let's see if they can get one on the road on the West Coast. So they just
couldn't be worse.
They did just get porked by the Kraken. I think that was in Buffalo. So maybe they're trying to get their get back now.
All right. I hope so. Sabres at plus chicken chat. Lock it in responsibly before that plus sign goes away. All right. Let's go ahead and pivot over to Jovan's plays and see what he's crafting up for today on the slate. What straight bet winner are you starting out with today, Jovan?
I mean, do we want to save Natty until last? Because I assume yours is on the bottom.
Well, it's already up there.
We can do that.
And the people know what you're taking in that game.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll go over it together. But McNeese is lacing them up today against Stephen F. Austin, which the thing, McNeese is a great defensive team, but the thing that they do the best is they turn those turnovers that they force into a lot of points. That's why you look at a lot of their games, even against the slower paced teams, and they're putting up 25 plus points off of turnovers in almost every single game this season. The thing that Stephen F. Austin, one of the reasons why they're so bad this year in the Southland Conference against a lot of these teams, they turn the ball over at one of the highest clips in the conference. So McNeese, even though like usually you'd see them, they want to play a little slower paced of a game, a little more defensive game. They'll sit back. They'll make you make mistakes. They're really good at the rim. If they play a team that cannot hold onto the ball, they will press you. They will full court press you. They will trap you at half court. They will do everything in their power defensively to speed you up, force those turnovers, and then be allowed to play in transition, which added bonus. Stephen F. Austin, also awful transition defense. So they're going to get out early, I think, and run in this game. I think as good as their offense is in the half court, and I think they match up pretty well, just regular sets against Stephen F. Austin, I think their defense is going to generate them quite a few points in this game. That's why I don't know why, like, if you look at McNeese and what they do in conference, pretty much every game by the lines and by the books, and it always ends super, super close. Like every McNeese game is 75-60 when they're playing a team relatively close. And that's both what the games end at, but it's also their team total is always 74.5. Their lines are always like 14.5 between that and like 11 against these inferior teams. And it's always like the same-ish type total. It's like that's always the target score. So anything that kind of deviates from that kind of lays in this line. So I think they score 75.
Total in this game on the way up, about 4 points from that 129.5 opener that I thought was a little bit low. But on the way up, and you're back in McNeese to spank, I think a pretty poor SF Austin squad this season. Sitting at 8-10 right now. That's a fat old spread. Good sign for your team total over, I think, for McNeese.
Yeah.
I like it.
Could be huge.
I like it. What's up, Chew? How we doing, Beast? Good to see you in the chat. Larkin. Sonny Dutchy. My natty strategy is to fade Seablaz. Yeah, let me know what he takes. Tony Taters to the Blue Jays. Yes, any comments from anybody on the show about Tony Taters going to Toronto, staying in the division?
I love Tony Taters, but at the end of the day, I'm very glad that a team that I do not root for they weren't the one to finally sack up and pay that contract, because contract's probably not going to age pretty well after a career year aging guy. I don't want to talk bad on him, but the Jays being the one, like that's the move they finally make is kind of funny. It'll be good for them because they don't really have anything else, but
yep. Yeah, maybe it's good for Goots they didn't pay him or overpay, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
He got 5 years, $90 million. So, I mean, I don't know. We got a discount on Tyler O'Neill. So,
Yeah, I think that's a much better deal, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
it's a cheaper deal.
Right.
So,
Well,
I mean,
R.I.P.
at least
Tony
we got-
Taters.
at least
I
we got
can't-
Charlie Morton, Great.
Hey, you got Uncle Charlie.
Uncle
You got a couple
Chuck.
pieces.
You know who's younger than Charlie Morton?
Who?
Chris Tillman is younger than Charlie Morton.
Dude.
Is he still pitching?
No.
No.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. The
Holy
old
smokes.
Orioles ace is younger than Charlie Morton.
Well, hey, maybe you need some veteran leadership in that clubhouse. You got a lot of young guys,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good
No,
thing.
man.
Maybe they can at least scratch one in the playoffs now instead of getting swept. Shout
Goods
out
is
Uncle
so
Charlie.
fed up right now with his squads. You can just feel it. You can feel it through the screen, folks. It's not good. It's not good. I prefer confident Goods talking his shit about the Baltimore teams. As annoying as it can be, I prefer that Goods. Hey.
Their spawns Trent.
Maybe after he gets one tonight on the Irish, we'll get that Goodsy back for Tuesday.
Maybe.
morning.
I'd love that, especially with Trent. I assume that can only be chirping in chat about Notre Dame.
We got Trent on Ohio State tonight. Surely.
Yeah, just the way we want it. The Lions, I mean, that paid well. I'm glad you got all that CLV with 2 racks on them and the Thunder to win the finals.
Honestly, though,
Clap it up.
without Trent tweeting those posts about those futures, I mean, the Commanders probably aren't here where they're at still, with their season going on. So,
the journey
shout out
starts
Trent.
now. It never even started once.
Huge.
It was dead in the first quarter.
That was awesome. Trent, thank you for your service, brother. Seriously, man, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but you're a hero. Thank you so much.
All that CLV, though. We'll be waiting. At least the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder, if they get swept, that would be incredible. But they'll win. They'll win a playoff game, so that counter will go up to 1. Okay. It's crazy. Get one through the hoop after the Astros and Lions.
Sure. All right. McNeese State team total over. Let's circle this back. He's burning the commie Nike ones. Bro, you leave those Mandos ones out of this, Trent. You leave those beautiful sneakers out of this shit. Okay, you don't touch those. Come on. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Jovan, you got a NBA over on the bottom sector over there? You want to go over that, puppy?
Yeah, Hawks Knicks, which I just put college football squares and the PP squares. So, nevertheless, I'm going to be taking Trae Young in the Garden. We got Trae Young in the Garden. Of course, he plays for the Hawks on MLK Day. Some sort of bet is required. A couple of bets are required when he's playing in the Garden, and I'll be taking his PRA, but that's beside the point. In this game, the Hawks have been playing with their JV squad mostly for the past week and a half, a majority of those games. Now they're going to be the healthiest version they've been in a couple games here going in to play the Knicks, who they are super aggressive in the paint. So, a Trae Young drives, they're going to be collapsing on him. They're going to make him pass the ball. Trae Young is going to chuck and be the villain at the same time in this game. I think it's going to be competitive. I think there's going to be points, but I also do think 6.5 for the Knicks is kind of seeming a little fat, and I've seen a good bit of it on Twitter so far. So maybe they're so popular to the point where the Hawks will find a way on MLK Day, but I think this has got to be a game that's back and forth, filled with a lot of points. Both these teams, I guess, not just the Hawks, are getting a little healthier. We'll see if Cat ends up playing, but regardless, the matchups are great on both sides for both these offenses, and they played 2 relatively low-scoring games. The first 2 times they played so far this season that the Hawks won both. The last one was in the Garden, the NBA Cup, so that was kind of one that was off to the side, super defensive game. I think it was 108-100 or something around there, sort of under the same total. That I think it was also 237 in that game, so right around this. I think this time, regular season game, vastly different game script, healthier teams for getting points.
Yeah, and this total is up more than 10 points from where it opened at. So I don't know what's good with that. Probably
I think that was super early before the injuries. I know the actual open number was 231.5 or 2 or something like that. And then some guys, I assume for the Hawks, started getting ruled in per Vegas.
All right. All openers are a month early. Yeah, Kish. Either way, though, on the way up, great sign for that total. All right. Let's swing it on back around, Goodsy. What else am I giving the people today? Little Penn State action on the hardwoods. Anyone else notice that fat number in this Penn State-Rutgers game? You got Penn State, who's lost 4 straight games, and sure, they've covered a couple of those. They're at home. They're playing against a Rutgers team that they've been struggling a ton this season, but they're coming in off of back-to-back wins for the first time in a minute, and they're getting disrespected on that spread. They're giving Rutgers 7.5 points after back-to-back solid games and W's. That looks a little fishy to me. And Penn State coming off of 4 losses. I'll back Ace Bailey and co. coming off of at least 2 covers. And they've been playing some really good opponents. They played Indiana, Illinois, Oregon, Michigan State. So although they've lost all 4 of those games, they covered a couple of them. And they played against some really good comps. They should be feeling pretty good at home, looking to bounce back against a Rutgers team that, if we don't know by now, I'll go ahead and tell you, they're a little bit overrated.
Yeah,
they got 2 NBA players, but are they a good basketball team? Not really. Do they have a great coach? No. The program's not great. Perfect time to fade coming in off of that outright win against Nebraska on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the thing that makes them so questionably bad is, Dylan Harper, as good as he is on offense, he can't guard anything. Nobody on that team can really guard anything. And Ace Bailey, if he wasn't the same size as he was, he wouldn't be able to guard anything either. He just uses his size to his advantage. To his credit, but defensively they are bad. So Ace Baldwin's going to have a day.
Yep. Chew, I wouldn't take any guys on Rutgers in this game just because I want to fade them today and take Penn State, but Dylan Harper is a beast. All right. Ace Bailey over 6.5 rebounds is free. Jalen's saying we'll take a peep at that puppy once we get to the squares. Okay. For now, I think we got some Natty Talk to get to here, Jovan. Should I get it started out with this under?
Feel free.
Yeah, not much to this one. You got a championship under, which 9 times out of 10 in any sport in a championship or title game, you're going to see me on the under in that game just because of how this plays out. Typically, they're not going to pay out that over unless something goes wrong or something happens that these books aren't expecting, because they know what they're doing here. Right? They know that 75% of people are just blindly betting this over anyways, just for fun, because that's how they bet. And that's fine. As long as you know that's how you lose, right? We're taking unders here in championship games. It's not fun. It's not flashy. You're not going to get to watch a bunch of points tonight, but there also should be some nerves involved as well. And we know both these QBs, although they played great so far in the postseason, Jovan, there's been times this year and times in their careers where they've been a little bit sketchy under center Will Howard's and Riley Leonard's at times. Could we maybe see one of these 2 QBs, lights be a little too bright for one of these 2 guys early on in this game, and that stunts their offense from putting up, 25 plus points? Yeah. And I think that's all it's really going to take for this game to go under. One of these 2 stud QBs to have one of those throwback performances where the lights are a little bit too bright. I think it'll be Riley in this game. I think he'll have plenty of opportunities to pass, and we'll talk about that more in a moment here in an L game script. But I do think this total's going under. We're seeing it drop already with all the bets on the over. Total's dropped 1.5 points from that opening line. I'll go ahead and lock in the under in this no fun game, no fun bets in the Natty, and fade both these offenses that have been great in recent weeks. Just unbelievable, destroying teams.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little scared of it. I'm not going to lie to you after the weekend, but I'm still riding it out. And the Hail Mary, of course. But, I like my Notre Dame in this game, always have and continue to. So I'm hoping they score, and I think they do. But I won't say anything against the under.
Chat saying they're seeing a lot of underplays.
Yeah, everybody and their mother's on the under, but it's a championship game, so can't really be viewed as the same.
Splits look good on my end. 31% of bets, 49% of handle on the green book. I could see it being a Twitter POD. Let's hope the people get one.
Yeah.
All right. You're back in the Irish, taking the points, huh?
Of course, I'm back in the Irish, dude. I didn't
has to be done.
Take them to win the national championship for the playoff, not knowing that we were going to get here against Ohio State, who is better than them at every single individual level. Because truthfully, especially in Notre Dame's super injured state, you can't really make much of an argument otherwise outside of a position here, a position there, aka Xavier Watts, like on defense. Other than that, Ohio State's better in any individual level. Thing is, this ain't golf. St. Scotty Scheffler, St. Tiger Woods going out there. This is a team game. Like I said, two of the best chess matches, coordinator versus coordinator on both sides of the ball, that you probably are going to see for this entire college football season, not just the playoff. So the thing that Notre Dame, people get caught up in watching Notre Dame is they look at what they have to do and not what they can do. And they kind of associate the two as the same. Because what they do, they obviously are a run-first team. They want to be physical. They want to grind out games. They want to make it ugly. And then just like the Penn State game, they will ramp it up when they need to. They will make adjustments when they need to. And their whole offense is kind of built on getting you to just as much as you need to against a team that's a super tough defense, and they're going to make adjustments of their own. So they're not going to go out there and throw the ball 50 times and put up 600 yards of offense and blow you away by scoring 50 points. That's not how they're built. They're a grinded out team that's going to run the ball, and they're facing a really good rush defense. But the thing is, not only have they seen good rushing defenses and made adjustments throughout the game, aka the last couple games of the playoff, they've also seen this Ohio State defense, this Ohio State scheme. So they're going to be able to not only make adjustments, but coming into this game, I think there's going to be a lot of eye candy used. And they used it a little bit in the game last year, where you're putting guys out wide, trying to get Ohio State to be overly aggressive. Then you throw right past their ear hole, or you come out in different formations, aka you're probably going to use Jadarian Price a little bit. You're probably going to use Anais Williams a little bit and try and break a run when I guess the formation really doesn't allude to it, or the personnel doesn't allude to it. So they're going to bring out all the stops in this game as far as making Ohio State really aggressive on defense and trying to get them to overcommit, whether it's to the run, whether it's to a screen, whether it's to anything in the short game, really. They're going to find their chances. And this is David versus Goliath. And I think this is one of the first times in quite a while that you're going to see David with a puncher's chance in this game. And I think Notre Dame does the absolute unthinkable and wins this game.
I don't know if I can agree with the David versus Goliath comparison. I agree with everything else.
I think it is.
This is still Notre Dame. Still the Irish.
You look at the guys on the field. This is, and I'll stand to this. I don't know if I said this or I said this on here or coin toss, but you take off the names on the jerseys, or I guess you can't really say the logos on the helmet because neither of them have any, but you get the point. Look at the guys that are on the field. Look at the athleticism, and you take into account the injuries. This would be a bigger upset, I think, than Georgia versus TCU.
Damn.
And I don't think it's even close.
I mean, yeah, Ohio State has probably the best team on paper in college football. We've seen that play out accordingly in the playoffs. So,
and speaking of the edge at every single position, you know what else I heard over the weekend that I know I brought up on here, or before the weekend, when somebody went through on ESPN, I think it was Ryan Clark, went through on ESPN talking about how every single category, quarterback, Ravens, running back, Ravens, wide receiver, Ravens, D-line, Ravens, DBs, Ravens. You can do the same exact thing for Ohio State, and I think the gap is even wider.
We got Dilgod coming in, giving out 5 subbies to the people. Let's fucking go,
Dilgod.
Dilgods. We got Matthew Odell coming in, dropping a resub as well on Prime. Love to see that. W Gents, we appreciate you. He said Ohio State by 2 tutties. Ooh. Matthew, I think Ohio State wins. I don't know if they cover that big number. I'm riding out my future that I locked in pre-playoffs. I think they win. Maybe Notre Dame keeps it within 10 points. I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe Mima shows up late and lands, touches down, third, fourth quarter early on. And you see Notre Dame maybe cover Mima, but I don't think they win. Are you going to have an ML slip in your pocket?
Well, no, because I already have the championship future. But I'll have the championship future plus just the spread play on 8.5.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to tell you any differently. I will not have a minus 8.5 ticket in my pocket. So hopefully we can go out there and you can cash your spread and I'll cash my natty ticket and we both go home winners. Okay. Let's talk about some prize pick squares. Sure, chat's very interested seeing some prize pick squares and not only this game, but the rest of the board today. You got NBA, you got NHL, you got everything today. College basketball, but I got 2 college football squares for you guys in this natty tonight. It starts with Riley Leonard at an L game script. I'm taking his more than pass attempts. It's pretty Reds and for good reason. I mean, Jovan, you talked about it. It's been more of a rushing attack for Notre Dame throughout the playoffs. But tonight I still think Love on one leg. He's not going to be good enough against this D-line for Ohio State. And you're going to see Riley Leonard's probably be more of a factor on the ground as well in this game, like we've seen the entire playoffs. But, losing game scripts, I do think Ohio State strikes first. They strike early. There might not be a ton of scores early in this game, but I do think the Buckeyes get there first. You see Notre Dame and Riley Leonard in an L game script trying to play from behind, and you see him start to air it out a little bit to some of his stud receivers. You got the lacrosse kids. You got your guy Greenhouse, who put up 100 yards the other day when he took his more than 10 receiving yards. They got a couple options. He's going to need to use them. He's going to need to find them in an L game script, in my opinion, with his fat spreads. So I'll back Riley Leonard when we've all been taking his rushing yards, his rushing attempts this entire playoffs. I'll pivot. I'll take his passing attempts more than 28.5.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, they're going to have to throw a good bit some way or another, I think, even if they're winning a game. So I don't think that's a bad look at all.
All right.
This is where you might lose me.
Yeah, I know you don't like this one. You've been talking about it all week. You think he's throwing one. You've already seen it. We'll see how it plays out. They're hanging up a sketchy Will Howard's relatively greened out interception square against a really good defense. I'll go ahead and take the less than. I think he controls the rock. And again, I think Ohio State, this is when they use their Sonic and Knuckles, their Lions version of their backfields. And you see a ton of Judkins and a ton of Henderson in this one. I'm not seeing a Will Howard pick in this game. I'm taking the less than on the square. Probably my favorite square on the board today.
Yeah, you lose me there, but I can respect it.
Will Goff. Drum is saying.
Will Goff.
I swear, man. I think he's going to be more like Will Daniels. There you go, Drum. Attaboy. The real Will Howard has not shown his face yet in the playoffs, like Lightning's saying. Surely he doesn't in the biggest game of the playoffs. Also, good points. Feed me that under like Lightning. That could catch the Hail Mary for us. One of these two QBs is going to struggle in this game. Selfishly, I hope it's Riley Leonard, but we'll see how it plays out. Okay? What squares are you cooking up over there, Jovan?
Just the two that I posted on the feed. Jadarian Price. I've been set on him for a while in this game now, for pretty much the entirety of the week. Like I said, I think everything for Notre Dame on offense, whether it's them running the ball or whether it's them throwing the ball, comes down to catching Ohio State off guard, like at a couple different points. And a lot of that, I think, comes from personnel, because you're going to have to pull out something unexpected. I think you're going to have to switch up your formations greatly in this game. And they've been known to do that, not just against Ohio State when they played them the first time last year, or I guess second time technically, but when they play a lot of these teams repeat times, Denbrock gets in his bag and kind of switches up the formations. Now I think it's pretty important because you have a really good Ohio State defense against the run, really good at outside runs too, which that's a majority of what Jeremiah Love handles, the guy that has been more kind of the inside guy and has more of a burst right now at the line of scrimmage, which is huge because if you get a seam against that Ohio State defense, you're not going to get too many of them throughout the game. So you got to have a guy that's going to be able to hit it with some acceleration through the gap. Jadarian Price has been that guy, and especially as that guy, I know that Jeremiah Love is, I don't know, had a couple extra days, so he's probably at his healthiest point that he's been the entirety of the college football playoffs so far, but I don't think it's enough. I think you need Jadarian Price in this game quite a bit to run the ball, and I think you need all the running backs, truthfully. So I think you're going to get a healthy dose of a lot of them, not just Jeremiah Love in this game. So taking his rushing yards, and then I can't not take Igbuka in this game for Ohio State because contrary to what people think, like Notre Dame is going to play a lot of man coverage, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're just going to have guys on an island for the entirety of the game. That's really not how it works. They're going to play man coverage, still have two high safeties, still going to have a safety shaded towards Jeremiah Smith. They're going to take notes and kind of tailor their man coverage to whatever Texas did, bracketing Jeremiah Smith on one side, but he still got Christian Gray, and I know he made a great play on the pick, but he also got cooked quite a few times and has continued to do that for the past couple weeks. Christian Gray is probably going to see a good bit of Igbuka, going to see a good bit of Carnell Tate too. So when you got the top corner over there on Jeremiah Smith, when you got over the top coverage shaded towards Jeremiah Smith, you're going to have a good healthy dose of blitzes as well against Will Howard, and he's been really good against the blitz so far this season. Somebody's going to be open at some point, and somebody's going to have a lot of space to run over the middle of the field if Will Howard hits him in the quick game. And more times than not, I'm going to bet it's probably going to be Igbuka. So he's the guy that Notre Dame's been toasted by multiple times when they faced him, and not that they're just okay with that, but it's also been because the matchup's been relatively similar with the number one wide receiver kind of on the other side of him, and this is the weak point of the coverage. So I'm going to bet that that's also going to happen again. He's going to grub in this game, and it definitely helps. I don't think that they're going to force feed him outside of the script of a national championship, but let's say it does kind of get to a point where they're relatively comfortable. They're probably going to let him chase the record for the Ohio State, I don't know, season, which he needs, or all-time record, which he needs like 94. So 60 is not in the question. If this game does get out of hand, which again, I'm hoping it very much doesn't, and I don't think it does, but they're going to feed him at the end if he really needs it.
Future commander. I'm in. I hope we take him in the late first round or maybe second round, but he'll probably be gone by then.
Yeah, I feel like you need a bigger investment than Ibuka, no?
Yeah, I don't know. Burden or Buka. I wouldn't mind either of those two gents. We got Adam's got picks coming in, resubbing for 16 months. Let's fucking go. Couple meme double bagels for today. Edie Block and Jalen Green dunk. Take as a two-piece. Say no more, Adam. I'm in. He said Edie Block. I've been seeing Edie getting roasted on the feed a lot recently. Has he been sucking?
Is it 0.5 blocks?
Has he been getting cooked?
Or is it actually a double bagel?
Blocked. It's a double bagel.
So it's 1.5.
No, it's only 0.5.
Oh, so it's not double bagel. Doesn't qualify.
Okay. All right. What about Jalen Green dunk? Let's go check that one out. Okay. It's also half. I'm still down to lock it in, but yeah, they are both half, not 1.5.
GG.
Okay. All right. I also locked in the Sharp Report format, and I dropped the link in the Twitch chat if you guys want to get involved. Okay, the link is in the chat. All right. W Subby Adam, we appreciate you, Beast. We need some NBA squares for free lineup. Okay, Clam Mucker. We can take a peek at that. Definitely want to look at some more college squares as well. I know we just gave 4 squares out though, so maybe an NBA lineup is in order.
Well, we got some spaces for that too, Krabs.
Yeah, we'll do a spaces tonight, guys, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you want to get involved on X, we're going to fire up a spaces this afternoon. Talk about the Natty, talk about squares, talk about straight bets, best bets. We'll get some of you guys up there at the end as well to go over your favorite plays. We can see if we can craft up a winner too. Okay? Yeah, Seaborn, they still give out those free lineups, man. They're pretty generous with those pups. All right? Dubs. Well, Jovan, you got any other comments about the Ohio State Notre Dame game before we move?
No. Irish shouldn't even show up.
Yep. You want to talk about the NBA? We got some games starting up kind of early.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of early action today, man. A lot of early action. We got Dallas and Charlotte tied right now, 55-55 apiece at half. Sure. Detroit-Houston starts up at 2 p.m. Eastern in about 45 minutes, Jovan. Looks like the Rockets are laying 8 at home. They're playing pretty good ball right now. Once again, they've won 4 of their last 5. Detroit's struggling a little bit right now after they had a little bit of a hot streak a week or so ago. You think it's the Rockets laying this big number?
Probably is. I don't want to go anywhere near that game, though. It's a weird game, partially because you got the Thompson twins facing off. I think that'll be cool. And
ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, not even like it's not even fun, I guess, to back them against each other because you probably got to do it in like the RA version of each other, which is kind of tough. But that'll be a fun matchup, assuming they're both on the court. But it's probably the Rockets.
So we got 2 TNT games tonight.
Do we?
In the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Do we also have them tomorrow? We do have them tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I forgot. Special edition MLK TNT games today.
Sure. All right. Would you want to craft up a TNT 2-piece for today? /
I wouldn't
would
hate
chat
it.
Want to craft up? I feel like they would.
Wouldn't hate it at all.
Yeah. All right. Krabs, if you like Penn State CBB, look at YKN over 18 PR. Down to check that out, Matt, after we go over NBA. We'll take a peep at college basketball. All right. I wouldn't mind a little TNT two-piece. We could start out by talking about Minnesota-Memphis. Game starts in about an hour, 10 minutes. Memphis up to -6. Total in this game up a boatload of points as well. Jovan, any initial thoughts on this game?
I mean, this is, I guess, one of the healthiest Grizzlies teams that I guess we're getting. Really one of the healthiest they've been for the entirety of the season for the most part. I think Marcus Smart's the only one that's not playing. I think everybody else is supposed to be playing. So it does seem a little easy, I guess, to be taking them in this spot, which kind of makes me uneasy now that we're getting them. But the one cardinal rule, I can't bet against the Grizzlies and I can't bet against the Hawks on MLK Day.
Yeah.
It's the rule.
Well, can you take some squares in this game potentially?
Yeah, I can definitely take some squares.
Total in this game is on the move. You have any desire to back Ja Morant in this game?
I have zero desire not to. That'd be terrific.
How many games has he missed?
Ja, like recently?
Yep.
He's been back for a minute.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking Ja. Look at some of his squares. He's got a 1.5 3-point made square. Pretty red rebound square as well. His assists, he's coming off a 12-piece. Squares are making it seem like he's about to have a pretty damn good day. We can definitely keep Ja Morant back pocket for this game. Let's look at the rest of the Grizzlies board. Make sure we're not missing anything. No comment on your guy, Desmond Bane.
Yeah, I mean, I figured I wouldn't even bring that up because I wouldn't get you there because he's been fantastic lately. But yeah, I mean, I think he does it again. I mean, I think this is just like a relatively square game, to be honest with you, because, I mean, I like points. You got Ja versus and Edwards, and I don't want to call it prime time because it's technically not, but it's a TNT holiday game that's relatively standalone. So, I mean, I think it's star versus star. And then D-Bane has been a fantastic second option for them. So I think he also has a day.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through the board, making sure we have all of our bases covered here. There's some random McGee's up for Memphis, but the problem is their charts are all green. Jalen Wells, Santi Aldama. These guys have been hooping.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Zach Edey points? 6.5. So low, bro.
It is really low.
Jeez. God, he's been mid.
Yeah, he's been kind of getting played off the floor.
All right, we can stay away from him then. We got a couple subbies coming in. Colt Stick dropping a subby. Appreciate the hard work, fellas. Colt Stick, we appreciate the subby, my man, for 8 months. We got Holy Howitzers coming in, resubbing as well. Goots would have called that 2-point conversion. You're goddamn right he would have. That thing would have been secured right in the breadbasket. You're right, Holy Howitzers. Yep. All right. What about T-Wolves? Let's go look at some Timberwolves squares, Jovan. We've taken Anthony Edwards at times for these TNT 2 pieces. Looking at his charts today, not really in a rush to back him.
Yeah. Figured you would not.
Julius Pork. His points are an extremely Reddit out chart. That's wild.
Might have to keep Julius Pork in 2024.
He might be pulling pork today, though, Jovan. Because he's got a 2.5. You see a 2.5 demon square for his threes? Not even a 1.5?
Well, that's probably because it's juiced so fat to the under.
It could be. That actually could be exactly why, yes. Yeah, Julius Pork, extremely Reddit out chart, chat. What do you guys think about that?
Wow, it's actually not because it's just the under, it's just the over.
Okay, see, there you go. That's insane. Wow. That's weird as shit. You got Trent bitched in the chat. Wow. Can we leave Pork in 24? We might have to dust off Pork. and play this mob today. Straight up. Mike Conley's up on the boards. He's not moving needs. Nikhil Alexander-Walker's got a 1.5 3-point square and a Reddit outs point square.
Now we're talking, Krabs.
It might be your lucky day, Jovan, because I don't know if I was getting off that pork square unless this Reddit out Nikhil Alexander-Walker square just popped up.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker is perking interest.
Yeah, you like his threes or you like his points?
I mean, he's probably going to get the threes or get his points with the threes, I would think. So it could always be the threes.
Yeah. Nikhil. I mean, yeah, just say the word. I'd be so down to take Nikhil. Effort guy, spark plug, beast, leader in the clubhouse.
There's only one word of why you'd be down, and it's none of those. It's hokey.
Literally none of those. It's just hokey.
Hokies.
I feel like we have to take Grizzly, though.
Dude, yeah, we might have to, dude.
We're
Who are
getting,
you liking,
we're getting
dudes?
our judgment clouded by freaking Hokies right now.
Who are you liking that we were talking about, dudes? Anybody?
Ja.
We'll see. The problem with that, Goots, is I figure because the second game, like, what order were you going to take? Because I have a feeling it's probably going to have to be a GOAT in Celtics Warriors.
Could go back to Porzingis.
I love Porzingis.
Questionable, though.
But it might have to be. This might be too goated of a lineup for Krabs if we don't take a non-GOAT in this game.
So what you're saying is we can keep Null in this.
I think we keep Null.
Wow. All right.
Bad split.
We'll keep him in there for now. We'll see. Let's go take a peep at game number 2 on TNT this afternoon. Both are early starts, guys, so make sure you lock this lineup in ASAP once we finish it. Celtics and Warriors. Looks like the C's are laying 10.5 on the road here. I want to check and see if there's any injury concerns. I'm assuming Curry's
for the Warriors. Yeah,
Curry's
like
not playing.
One of the few guys playing, so he's all over Twitter today.
Okay, all right.
So good staying off Curry.
One-man show for Golden State today. Sure. How do you think this game plays out before we look at the squares? Total in the game still moving up.
Yeah, I mean, Celtics are confusing. I'm glad I picked one of the only games that they've seemed to get their shit together as big favorites against teams because they just lost another one against the Hawks, which is crazy. But they're on the road now in a big primetime, I guess-ish matchup against the Warriors, who are super undermanned, and they're a little smaller at the rim too. I know the Celtics love to shoot nothing but threes. That's their whole strategy. But when you're playing a team that I think you can get away with being super aggressive on, I feel like this is not a play with their food spot. So I do think they pull away for this one relatively comfortably, especially after, I think, in Boston, I think that was the game I took the Warriors, and Steph had a legacy game and they won outright, one of the early season upsets. Don't think it's going to be like that this game. So, I mean, if I'm taking anybody in this game, one of the only times I will ever do that is taking the Celtics and taking Jason Tatum.
Yeah, dude, this game's put my brain in a blender. I don't know how I feel about this one, man. You might have to take the reins.
It's a tough game.
What about Derek White's bald head? You like him today?
I mean, I don't hate it. It's just, it's been so frustrating. I mean, he's been the guy, the sharp guy for 3 weeks straight.
He never comes through, ever.
Never.
Oh. Don't make me take Tatum, man. What about Big Drew?
Wouldn't hate Drew.
Holiday.
Wouldn't hate Drew.
9.5 points.
See, it's just his problem is the same thing as the Derek Whites of the world. They're just always slightly red, always sharp in some form or fashion, and just haven't been coming through. It's been Tatum and Porzingis, and then sprinkles of Jaylen Brown when he decides to actually lace him up like he did against the Hawks and Kings, and really not many other games.
Yep. All right, you want to square up for Kitch and go with Jason Tatum's?
I think it is just Tatum, Krabs. I honestly do.
You like just his points?
I mean, I would be down to put PRA in there too. Team missing some size. Rebounds are a little red, not incredibly red. Last couple. But this could be the game where he asks trip dub questions.
Let's go PRA. And he just got bumped right up in front of my face to 26
PRA?
and a half PRA. Yep. Literally, as I click the button, it gets bumped.
To what? 40 and a half?
26 and a half.
Oh, it's points.
Oh, that's his points. That's his points. That's his points.
What was that at? 26?
25 and a half.
Oh, full pointage.
Be happy if you aren't on Mark Williams props like I am. Bro. 4 fouls in 10 minutes. It's brutal. All right. Jason Tatum, 40 and a half PRA. That looks more right. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, more than 1.5 3-pointers. Are we going with the Hokie?
I think we have to go with the Hokies.
Okay. All right. Might be the only non-disappointing thing to come out of that school in the last couple years.
Nah, there's some. There's got to be some, right?
Newton, not yet, but soon, Goods. He'll be on the Dolphins. Yep. All right. Chat's saying it won't be a blowout. Yes, Gootsy's definitely top 5. Without a doubt. Unquestionable now. Torres is saying it will not be a blowout.
Top 5, dude?
Dude, he simply is. Like, just check.
We're still pushing top 5.
Check the Mel Kiper big board. He's top 5.
Right. While we're talking top 5, pull a page out of Coots' handbook. Happy birthday, Brendan Sorsby. Got it.
Wow.
Absolutely got it.
Okay.
Big 2-1.
Future Heisman winner.
Yeah, he's for sure hearing that.
So when I do it, it's bad. But when you do it, it's okay.
Yeah.
Future Heisman
absolutely.
winner.
I bet.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys want the link to this TNT 2 piece or what? Enough beating around the bush. You got Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and you got Jason Tatum. You got one Rando, you got one GOAT. What more could you ask for? Straight up. One GOAT, one Rando McGee. Didn't Tyrod Taylor go to VT? Props and chops. I thought he'd never ask. Yes, he did.
He did.
People forget that. And Logan Thomas. People forget he was a absolute beast QB back in the day. All right.
People absolutely forget that.
Yep. Can we peep the hockey slate, Hoffy's saying? Do you really want a hockey peep? You got a game going on right now, too. A sneak early game on the ice as well. Sure.
Sneak early game.
You can look at the ice. I mean, I've got one play on the ice today. It's the Sabres on the ML. That one actually starts up in about an hour and a half. Commanders Super Bowl champs. I hope so, man. I hope so. Jovan, any thoughts on Minnesota, Colorado? It starts up in an hour and a half, 3 p.m.
Yeah. I have a feeling that 3-goal collapse from the Avs against the Oilers is going to start a just vicious streak for them. And they're about to look like prime Avs for the next couple weeks. So, I mean, they already absolutely porked the Stars on Saturday. Really good performance by them. It didn't really seem like it was in doubt for a while. Defense was great. They were aggressive early and often and porked them in that game. I have a feeling, I mean, this is still, I think, a fat line with them being in Colorado. I know the Wild, they're super banged up, but I do not think this is the time. I think the Avs beat them pretty convincingly. I will not be fading the Avs for probably the next couple weeks.
Yeah, well, you won't see me taking them unless I'm being held at gunpoint on GTA. Although they did respect coins on Saturday, I guess, for us, but the game before that, they fucking blew it.
Yeah.
I feel they blow it more often than not, man. I just can't do it.
It's a big like 2 weeks for them because outside of the Wild, I mean, they play a lot of tougher teams, not like top of the league, but just odd matchups, I guess. Like they go play the Bruins, I guess, on the road. They still have to go play the Rangers on the road, whole New York trip on the Islanders against the road, or against the Islanders on the road. Like it's a weird stretch of games. So if they get through that relatively comfortable, I mean, that's, I think, really impressive.
Okay. We'll see. What about St. Louis and Vegas? You got Vegas laying around minus 200 at home against St. Louis.
Yeah. I don't really bet St. Louis Blues games. So the Blues are just ridiculous to figure out a lot of the time, whether they're shorthanded, whether they're not. And VGK has lost like 4 or 5, including, I mean, everybody in the world took them against the Blackhawks, and they sold that game. So, like, I would not be surprised if this is a bounce back. Makes all the sense in the world. But not only do I not take Blues for or against, but minus 190, minus 200 is the death of you in hockey. So
Yep.
I will be staying far away from that.
That's fair. Do the Islanders count for that? Minus 185 at home against Columbus. I thought that was a pretty fat number that they were laying against a Columbus team playing good hockey right now.
A little bit. CBJ is hard to figure out because they're playing better. They just never really get the line respect to reflect it, I guess. They are coming off of like their first, I don't know, human-looking performance in a while where they got shut down by the Rangers. That was super weird and got shut out. So, like, I still would kind of think on the road against the Islanders, this is a game that they, at the very least, I mean, keep it within the puck line. Not that I'm taking that because it's probably super juicy because they're only plus 160 in the game. But this is going to be weird. I would still lean CBJ.
Okay. What about Tampa and Toronto? Do you think your Lightning are a play as a dog on the road here? Up in Toronto? Both teams are coming off of back-to-back wins.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the one for the Bolts to get. I know Toronto's been catching some steam. Bolts have had trouble with the Leafs the last couple times they've played. So I don't really know what to do in this one. Usually, I mean, they've come out pretty flat on the offensive end. This just feels like an odd game because they've had a couple games against like super inferior teams, I guess, last handful out. Like they played the Ducks, played the Red Wings. They're both terrible. Red Wings are in a weird stretch of hockey, but they dominated them. And then this is the one game before the Bolts kind of get lulled back to sleep again. So, like, they play the Habs, they play the Blackhawks twice, they play the Red Wings again. So this is kind of the one game sandwiched in the middle with Johansson in that. I don't want to say it's a punt game, but it doesn't feel like they're going to get the biggest effort out of them either.
All right, sketchy spot. Couple late night games here on the ice, Jovan. Carolina, Chicago. Carolina up to minus 310 on the roads. See any world where they're losing?
Probably not. They're probably porking.
Okay. What about Winnipeg and Utah? Winnipeg catching 30 cents of steam on the road. They're minus 175.
Yeah, probably take a nap during that game. It's probably your best option.
And then late night take me home piece, Pitt, LA. LA, that sketchy minus 190 number.
Yeah, and funny you say that because I believe this is their first game back from the road trip. It is, which is first game back from the road trip, and I believe, I don't know if it's 9 games or 10 games or what, but they're on a home winning streak that has extended a while. So I was kind of looking forward to getting to fade this at some point, and I'm staring at a team that definitely, I mean, nobody would want, and the Penguins making this weird, especially against a real defensive team, last kind of lay piece of the night. I think the Penguins might end it and win this game.
The plus chicken Penguins, plus 155.
Yeah.
They've been struggling of late as well. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Could be a good buy low spot.
Yeah, especially, I mean, this is like the Kings. It's hard to say the look ahead spot in hockey all the time because, I mean, it's a long season, long grind. You got a lot of different things with different goalies and different players, whatever. But they got the streak on the line, and they also have the Panthers coming in on Wednesday. So, I mean, I can probably guarantee you the streak's not making it past there, but that's probably the big game they're looking forward to. That's going to be a crazy atmosphere game, super fun, bringing the defending champs in there. But now you get the lowly Penguins, who have been on the road for a bit. Everybody's POD was against them last time out versus the Caps, and the Caps dominated them, as they should. What's to say it doesn't get odd this time around?
Yeah, I like the Penguins. Plus chicken on the road in LA tonight. Sign me up. Somebody in chat asked, what's your favorite puck line to play today, Jovan, on the ice?
Favorite puck line?
Yep.
I guess we're just talking favorites. I mean, I would say if we're talking just favorites, I mean, probably the Avs. I guess I don't really care for too many of the other ones, but could also be a sneaky CBJ -1.5, to be honest with you. A real reverse puck line. So I do think if they win that game, it's probably going to be because their offense comes out hot and defensively they kind of lock in like they have against a lot of these other teams. So if they do win, I wouldn't be shocked if it's like a 3-1, 4-1 against the Isles.
Ooh. Little reverse puck line.
Yeah.
That'd be plus check.
Very plus check.
Right. Huh. Maybe CBJ stays hot. They bounce back after that one out.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. All right. Well, W plays on the ice. Let's make sure we have our bases covered in the NBA. I like the Bulls late night against the Clippers. I wanted to bring that one up. Plus 6.5 on the roads. Saw a bunch of squares up on Prize Picks in that game for Bulls players, mainly 3-point square category squares. They're making me think the Bulls maybe end this little rough stretch they've been in right now. They've lost a bunch of games in a row. They're playing a Clippers team that's a Clippers team that's won 4 games in a row. I think maybe the Bulls getting only 6.5. I thought we'd see maybe double digits here in this spot, considering how both teams have been playing of late. That number looks a little short to me. I kind of want to play Chicago late night in the NBA.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that at all. I mean, the Clippers have been, I don't know, streaking for like the past week and a half, but it's also been like such an odd schedule for them too, because they've had, 5 games in 7 days now where they played they had the back-to-back kind of sandwiched in there against 2 terrible teams with the biggest blowout in Clippers history, with like the big win against the Heat on the front end. And then last night they just had their big win against the Lakers. It's like not even that, I guess 5 games, 7 days isn't really saying, or it's 5 days and 8 days isn't really saying much, but they had the back-to-back Wednesday, Thursday, and now they have the back-to-back Sunday, Monday. It's kind of weird, especially when you're playing a team that's going to pace you up quite a bit. I think they're statistically the worst defense in all of basketball. The Bulls are, but you have to play a little faster with no Kawhi too. I could get odd. I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, I like the Bulls, man. I think I'm going to play them late night. Any thoughts on that play in chat? Looks like Billy the Kid was already eyeing the Bulls. Great to hear. Good. Any other late night plays, Jovan, in the NBA? I guess there's only 2 real late night games anyways. You got Utah and the Pelicans is the other one. Any thoughts on that game? Pelicans up to -10?
Yeah. I don't know that I want anything in that game because it was pretty close to the same exact spread that they had in that last game where they played, which the difference was the Jazz were a little less healthy than they're going to be in this game. I think Kessler's supposed to be back, which is a pretty big deal because Zion got in like foul trouble and still shot toward eights in that game, and he still scored whenever he wanted or did whatever he wanted, which is why I was glad I was on his PRA looking at that. But he did whatever he wanted. They did whatever he wanted at the rim, and that was that. Now it's a little different because Kessler's in there. I think Misi's supposed to be back too. So it's a little more clogged at the rim and won't be just layup lines for the entirety of the game, which is good. And now it's kind of the same exact line. So, like, typically I would think the Jazz would bounce back and show a little more heart, but I don't want to get invested now that it's, like, good injury news on the Jazz side.
Well, shit. Misi's out anyway, so we don't want to bet that game.
Wow.
No need.
And Zion out now.
No need to waste. Right?
Yeah, we have no Krabs square. Krabs default square.
No Misi goat. Somebody in chat asked, what would we play on the books in these 2 TNT games? Minnesota, Memphis. You're probably playing Memphis here. Are you buying the good news?
Yeah. Not with much confidence, but yeah.
Okay. All right. And then what about Boston and Golden State?
I'd play that over.
I was going to say, could that be a sneaky over spot? which is Steph versus the Celtics. Totals up a couple points.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I could get down with that as well. Sure. Mogman likes that combo, Jalen Green and Trey Points. Yeah, how would you play Trae Young? You talked a little bit about the Hawks today. Would you play Trae Young at all?
Yeah, I'm going to take his PRA. Let's keep it simple. Because, he's going to be aggressive. That's what he does against the Knicks, period. But they do they've crashed down in the paint very well. And a lot of that comes from them having to do that because of injuries or whatnot. But the spot up shooter is going to be open. Whether I know there's still a question mark of exactly who's going to be playing for the Hawks as far as the Trae Young supporting cast, whether it's DeAndre Hunter, whether it's any of the other guys that are on the perimeter, but he's going to have his fair share of kickouts. And I would have just taken the PA, but for whatever reason, you look at Trae Young against the Knicks, like if you've actually watched the games too and not even just looked at the box score, he is very in the mix for rebounds. So his numbers in those games are definitely up, but he's intentionally trying to be a lot more involved too. So it's not just he's got more rebound numbers against them. He's got a lot of chances while he's in there too. So take his PRA. However he gets it, he gets it.
Somebody in chat asked about the Suns and the Cavs game. Well, it's looking like Bradley Beal might not play. So as much as I'd love to say take the Suns, I thought that was a pretty big number.
I figured that would make you want the Suns.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Although that would typically make me want to take the Suns, I think that's a big number for the Cavs to be laying here. The Suns might not have a good record. They're only one game over 500, but they're still the Suns. They got Kevin Durant, obviously, and Devin Booker, and they're playing well of late. They've still won 4 of their last 5 games. They're playing like that postseason Suns team that people expected. I feel like it's probably the Cavs laying 8 points here. I thought that was a pretty big number.
Yeah, won't disagree.
They've got some injury concerns as well. They got Karis LeVert banged up, although he's not, the main factor. But they got Mobley out as well. I think that's a pretty big number. I like the Cavs.
Wouldn't talk you off of it, but
okay.
No, I'm just not sure what to make of the Suns yet. But I will tell you, not that I disagree, but Nick Richards doesn't get a double-double today, all of Twitter will be in shambles.
Ooh. Twitter POD, Nick Richards, no profile picture?
Shambles, dude. Which, this is really his big tryout, I guess, because this is the first game where they're playing a legit big, where he needs to be a actual presence. So, if there's any game for him to actually prove it in a meaningful spot, this is probably it.
Yep.
But, yeah, there's a lot on that app riding on Nicholas Richards.
Okay. Noted. I will stay off and tread lightly there. All right. Dangles in chat saying I was thinking Suns and Wolves today. Yeah, I kind of like the Cavs, I'll be honest, and I think Memphis is probably the play. Although you won't see me buying the good news with their whole squad back. So not loving those plays, but we'll see how it plays out. We got a couple follows coming in. W Dangles, W Joe Kelly. That could be the real Joe Kelly. Cannot confirm or deny. Thank you for the follow, whether you're the real one or the fake one. W's. All right. Jovan, do we like Price touchdown as well? Yes, let's shift. Let's pivot. Let's talk about the Natty one more time here before we get to the squad ride, Jovan. Do you like your guy Price to find the end zone?
I do. I think the sky is the limit for him because a lot of what I'm taking him off of is I think if Notre Dame wants a big play on the ground, not that Riley Leonard's incapable of doing it with his legs, not that Jeremiah Love is incapable of doing it with his legs, or even Anais Williams isn't capable of doing it either. They need a guy that when you find a seam, whether it's through the middle of the line, whether it happens to be a little more of a cutback to the outside, Jeremiah Love, again, has not been able to really hit that and accelerate through the hole for a big play. He'll get you a lot of tough yards. He'll get you, 2nd and 3. He'll go and get you 5 for a first down because that's kind of how he's built. But with the way his knee is right now, he hasn't really been that guy. I think Notre Dame's going to have few and far in between opportunities to really make a big play in the run games. Like Jadarian Price, I feel like is going to get that opportunity. So if he does get that opportunity and there's a seam, I think he can go very far with it. I think this could be a Donovan Edwards situation, just like last year, where he happened to be the big guy when everybody was expecting Corum, and he had the big run to kind of break and open everything up. Obviously, a different situation because you're going against a much tougher run defense, and you're the underdog in this game, so it's a little less expected. The game script is a little more against you, but yeah, I think he could be a sneaky big play guy for the Irish, which is kind of what I'm betting on.
I could see it. So Jimmy's talking about the Henderson touchdown square that's up there on the boards. The only normal touchdown square up there. Extremely green. He's got 5 tutties in the last 3 games. Even I don't want to fade him now in this spot. I feel like he's, trending upwards as we approach the end of the season here. I feel like he's going to be a really good draft pick for dynasty leagues as well. He's going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs type running back in the NFL. If he goes to the right team, he could be a stud. And he's been flashing his abilities both in the rushing game and in the receiving game in recent weeks. He's been a stud. I don't even want to fade him now in this spot. Typically, I would get crabby, would take the less than on a guy like that. But even I don't want to do that today. Not for Henderson. He's been balling.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that either. But to be honest, I feel like in the run game, though, I mean, Judkins is probably the guy that I think it's a little more of the usage. So like I don't really hate Henderson being a big asset in the receiving game, especially being that like Will Howard's going to get blitzed quite a bit, and that could lead to a touchdown, sure, but I feel like they want Judkins in the spot a little more.
Let me ask you about this other rushing square. Will Howard, 9.5 rushing yards is up there on the board. The first rushing square up there on the boards when you click that category. Pretty red. Coming off of 4 yards and -3 yards the game before that. We know in college they count sacks as lost yards.
Yeah.
Is that square looking weird to you? It's looking a little weird to me. I kind of want to take them more than. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, a little bit. And you know what? If Will Howard's running the ball, there's something wrong with this game. Because you know what that means, Krabs? That means not only is he getting pressured a good bit, but it means Smith, Egbuka, and Tate are all not open. And G. Scott, which, again, everybody thinks that there's not a single play where any wide receiver is not going to be butt naked for Ohio State throughout the whole game. So if Will Howard is running a little bit more than you would expect, that can only mean good things for the Irish, in my opinion.
Ooh.
So I would not hate that.
All right. Could be a good sign for your Irish. Now, let me ask you this about your Irish. Do we think Riley Leonard is finding pay dirt today?
Yes.
Because he's got a demon square up there.
Yes. As long as Jadarian Price doesn't get there himself. I mean, it's not really a secret. Like Notre Dame, he's their package, like in the run game. And it doesn't matter who you're facing, like they're going to line up and he's going to be QB power, QB counter, anything at the goal line. So when they get down there, he's their solution.
Yeah. You won't see me getting cute. Well, you can't even fade it if you wanted to, but I do like it. I would not be shocked if he finds the end zone. And that's one of the few touchdowns for the Irish in this game, if not the only one. I think it's going to be a snooze fest, folks. I think these defenses are standing up on Biz, and they're going to be dominating in the trenches on both sides for both teams. Krabs doesn't care about anything but the Mandos. Well, yeah, you could say that right now, for sure.
Kind of fair.
Certainly don't care as much about this Ohio State Notre Dame game as I would if my Mandos were out. But I do have a future on Ohio State, so I'm looking forward to hopefully cashing that tonight. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited about it. We're also running a Spaces, guys, 5 p.m. Eastern on X. If you want to get involved, we'll talk a little bit more about this Natty, prize pick squares, book plays, you name it. We'll talk some cheeky props as well for the Natty during that Spaces, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Bring your nugs.
Be there. Yeah, be there, be square. Bring your nugs. BYON, bring your own nugs. Okay?
I just want to say one thing.
Good.
You know damn well Notre Dame's converting some sort of 2-point conversion tonight. So if you can bet that, go bet.
Ooh. I don't know if they're gonna have those lines up, Gootsy, but if they do,
I'm just saying.
Probably do.
Last night they're gonna
could be pretty sharp.
I'm gonna get something good to happen for me with a 2-point.
Get a little octopus going.
Yeah, how about
I wonder if that's a bet.
Riley Leonard octopus.
I know they have that It's going to be the most random octopus of all time, Gates. It's going to be, God, I can't even imagine. It's going to be like Jaden Thomas. Octopus.
Mitchell Evans.
Yeah,
Or it could be Jadarian Price.
No, it's gonna be Riley. If it's not octopus, it's Riley. It's gonna be Riley.
I just don't know. I don't know that they'll be able to do that 2 times in a row.
That'd be crazy.
I feel like
He
it has.
runs it in and then runs it
If
in
it's an
right after.
octopus, it can't be from Riley.
It's got to be in the air.
It's gonna be a pass to Mitchell Evans. He's gonna drop it.
Any Goots PODs for tonight?
Yeah, I was looking. I like Aeneas Williams receptions. It's just a goblin. So
I think it's receiving yards.
yeah, I like his receptions though, but you could take that. It's just high, 24.5.
Yeah. It's a little juice because
was he up last week, Jovan?
No, he's never been up.
Yeah.
But I mean, they put him up, of course, after the big catch.
Yeah.
But he's been a pretty big factor in the receiving game, really outside of that catch. He was pretty big against Georgia, too, for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, he's a third down back. He's a safety blanket on those third downs.
Yeah. And again, like I love Jeremiah Love, but I mean, I think it's got to be running back by committee, I guess. So I think you're going to see a lot of Price, a lot of Aeneas Williams, and again, God forbid, it does get into a heavy passing script. You're really going to see a lot of Aeneas Williams.
For sure.
Well, we could talk about a little bit more on the spaces this afternoon, gents. I feel like for now, might be time to craft up a little squad ride W for the people on a Monday night.
This might
be. Ready? Let's run it, Gootsy. I want to see that damn train. All right, boys. W squad rides on Friday. Let's keep the momentum rolling. After a tough start to the year, we're starting to finally see that momentum turn. All right, so let's cash another squad ride again. Let's make it back to back. Jovan, I'm looking at some of our plays today. Might be a tough sell on the Irish. And we also have that under, which is already in the Hail Mary, which we're looking to cash tonight as well. So we don't have a million options. Might have to look at some other plays first before we loop in that Natty.
Yeah.
I really like your Hawks and Knicks over.
Yeah. Down for that. Starts in an hour.
Ah, shit. I forgot about that early start, man. God.
Yeah, a lot of them start pretty early. Just the problem.
That's a good point. Well, I guess we could start with some of my plays here. What about Penn State? That one's at 6:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
Penn State minus 7.5, chat, laying a big old number against Rutgers.
Do we have any other CBB plays? I guess we didn't fully navigate through there.
Yeah, the only other CBB plays I was eyeing today. I like your McNeese play, but that starts up in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I like Lemoyne plus 1.5 at home against Stonehill.
Wondering if you're going to bring it up.
Haven't said that in a while, but I like Lemoyne. 6-13 Dolphins, who've lost 4 of their last 5 at home, catching a little bit of steam against Stonehill, who's 10-9. I like Lemoyne. I might play them tonight. That's pretty much all I got, though, in CBB.
I kind of like Lemoyne, too. I'm not going to lie to you.
Put the Dolphins in here?
We might have to put the Dolphins in here, Krabs.
Plus 1.5.
Lemoyne.
Yeah, I'm still seeing plus 1.5. Okay. Sure. What else in the NBA? What about the Bulls late night?
The Bulls? I could get convinced in the Bulls.
I'm really liking the Bulls. I'll be playing them today. And then one more peep on the ice. Sabre starts up kind of soon. You like Columbus. I'm not loving Columbus too much today. Maybe the Penguins?
Penguins? I wonder what the best
Plus
way to
Chicky
play
Penguins?
Would it just be the ML?
Probably. It's too juicy. Take the +1.5.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking. We could roll with these 3 plays, Penn State, Lemoyne, and the Bulls. Or we could loop in your McNeese team total. If you're loving that. We could get the Penguins involved on the ice plus chicken late night. Put the under in this Natty Champ game in here again and just run it back.
I'd be down and not loop McNeese in because that starts in like 2 hours.
Okay.
So no beyond that. But
all right.
I'd be down to run this as is.
3-piece?
Yeah.
I'm in. Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners for today's Monday squad ride. Get involved, change your life. All right, click the right button, please, as always. Click the right button. The best sell job you heard today, the best play you heard today. Click the right button of a play you know is turning green. All right, we appreciate all the subbies that came in today. Tons of subbies, tons of chats, tons of follows during BTL today. W's. We appreciate you guys. And if you missed TMA before BTL today, you can always go back and rewatch on YouTube. We've got the Surge stream starting up right after this as well. All right, so stick around. Pitch Trent some winners. We've got that Twitter Spaces tonight at 5 p.m. as well before the Natty to talk some more plays and squares. All right, get those votes in. 3 plays, 3 winners. Penn State -7.5. Lemoyne +1.5. And the Bulls +6.5 in the association. Okay. W. Billy, we appreciate you, Beast. Look at Penn State getting out to an early lead.
Chat, you're so soft. Not voting.
I thought we'd see more Dolphins, and I honestly thought we'd see more Bulls. I really did. Maybe the people want to get in. They want to get in, get out with Penn State real quick. I don't blame them.
Where's the Lemoyne love, dude?
No Dolphins love. You hate to see it. There it is. Yeah. Here it comes. And Matt said I was a Bulls voter. Honestly, dude, I'd probably vote for the Bulls in this poll as well. The more I talk about them, the more I look at that game, the more I'm liking the Bulls. Late nights. This poll might end up a little bit closer than it started here. We got a 3-horse race here, gents. 3 plays, 3 winners. Penn State, Lemoyne, and the Bulls. Who's it going to be, folks? Greatish Calves in chat saying Bulls need to be left in 2024. It's looking like they're about to be left in 2024, yes.
Yeah, they're not going to win the left.
They're not going to win the poll. That's okay. It's looking like it's going to be Penn State. Wow. Laying a big old number in college basketball today. W play. Love it. Love it. All right.
Let's go.
Gutsy, Jovan, good luck tonight in the Natty. I know you guys will be stoked to watch Notre Dame. Look, they got a chance. They still got to play the damn ball game. I know that spread's fat, but once they start off that game and they have that first kickoff, it's anybody's ball game. Okay, anybody can win that puppy. We'll see how it goes. Goots, Jovan, any party notes before we pivot?
Go Irish. Let's show up in a big game, unlike Little Mickey Mouse last night. That's all we need.
There it is. And there it is.
That, but go Irish.
Sure. W's, gents. Stick around for the Surge stream. Pitch Trent a winner, please.